enough to use their ramps and load the riding lawnmower into my truck. I strapped it all down, drove it to Lexington, and promptly looked at it and said, how am I going to get this out of my truck? Now, I don't have ramps. There was a flat tire on the riding lawnmower, and it was out of gas. So there were many reasons why this was going to be a challenge, but I just stuck it in my garage. I had this enormous garage that came with the enormous backyard, and said, okay, well, I'll think about it. And it sat there for about 3 days. I didn't have to work for a couple of days, so it just sat there while I pondered or ignored it, however you want to look at it. But I knew I had to go back to work, and I did not want to go back to work with a big John Deere riding lawnmower in the back of my truck. So one night, I snuck into my garage, and I left the door shut. I didn't want anybody to see me. And I started the crazy process of getting a very large, very heavy riding lawnmower out of the back of my truck. What I ended up using was an old piece of exercise equipment that I never used as a pseudo ramp, and I put 2 ratchet straps on it, and I would loosen one until the other one caught, and then I'd move it, and I'd loosen that one until that one caught, and I did that over and over. I was probably there for an hour and a half, removing this stupid riding lawnmower from the back of my truck. When I got all the way to the bottom, the piece of furniture, the exercise equipment I was using fell on the ground, which was okay. I wasn't using it anyway. The riding lawnmower landed. I looked at my truck. It was okay. I looked at my riding lawnmower. It was okay. And I said, man, you are one stubborn lady. Because, let's be fair, I was. Now, what does that story have to do with what we're going to talk about today? The important part is that it sat in my garage for 3 days. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't know what to do with it. I just ignored it. And that's interesting because in Lexington, my uncle, my dad's older brother, lived 2 doors down from my house, my new house. And I have a feeling he would have easily been able to get that lawnmower out of my truck. He's just as handy as my dad is. But I didn't ask. I avoided the problem by hiding the truck in the garage and then did something stupid and dangerous to fix it. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Can anyone relate to that? Here's our big idea for today. Choosing to check out from the real world instead of facing your feelings and giving your troubles to God leads to harmful consequences, missed opportunities, and losing sight of the plans that God has for your life. Now, what do I mean by checking out? There's a lot of different terms for these kind of behaviors. There's lots of fancy terms like dissociation, avoidance, distraction, escapism. That's one of my personal favorites. And they basically all amount to mentally avoiding something by distracting yourself with something else. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've had a hard day at work or you come home, watch a little on TV to unwind, that's understandable. We all need moments to reflect, to reconsider, and to rest. But what I'm talking about is when the thing you do to check out becomes a driving force behind your day. When you cannot end the day without a beer or 6, you spend hours in front of the TV, even on your days off. You avoid doing other things that you need to do in your house because you have to watch TV, or you have to play that video game until you beat it, or you have to do something. There's